Worthing FC TV with Chris Agutter, looking ahead to the final game of the regular season against Enfield Town this Saturday. Aggie, how are you feeling? Obviously, following the 1-1 draw, which moved you down to 4th, the point off top. It's a hell of an exciting final day in prospect. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting when you say final game of the season. It's gone quick, isn't it? When you think of when we first met and that stand wasn't even built, it was it seems to have flown by. So. Time normally goes quickly when you're enjoying yourself, so that's normally a good sign. So, it's incredibly tight. I think when it's all said and done, we'll probably look back on it and we'd appreciate how unique this title race has been. In terms of Monday, certainly not perfect by any stretch, as Mr. Mark White pointed out, but as I said, and I still believe it, I think the fact that the game was scrappy and on the face of it could be accused of certainly not being a classic. I think that's more a reflection of two evenly matched teams, two very good teams that are at the top end of the league for a reason, certainly not the case of it being two poor teams or poor group of players, that's for sure. So I'm sure we'll agree to disagree on that. I think in general we could have played quicker. I thought we slowed the game down too often, and that doesn't suit us. I felt at times we should have played more passes as well. So two of the reasons that we do find ourselves 1 point off top with a game to go is because we do play with a good intensity and we do move the ball quickly and we do play a lot of passes, and I think that's sort of been, as I said, key elements as to why we've had such a good season. So, and I think that was lacking at times against Dorking, and I think if we'd, as basic as it sounds, we'd injected a bit more speed into the game, and on the regain we'd played more passes, I think we would have done enough to get the 3 points. Again, I thought the 20 minutes after the initial period of the game, sort of first 15 minutes, definitely Dawkins created a couple of chances, started really strong. Pryor, Carter, Rutherford, Mewett, a real handful going forward. But after that initial period, I thought we certainly come on strong in the game, and it was when O'Day come on. Actually, I thought he helped us grab a foothold in the game, grab control of the game, and I thought that period we were decent, and we done enough to maybe win the game based on that period. And then second half, obviously we've made a horrendous error, and it's cost us. But you know me, Jack. I say it as I see it. If there's individual mistakes, I'm not gonna sit here and give you a political answer. I'm gonna say what I think. And Lucas has made an error, but equally, we don't forget that Lucas on Friday produced some incredible moments for us, which meant we put an important point on the board against Borough, which meant we went back top. So the players will, rightly so, get praised when they deserve it, and equally when there's mistakes made, we'll call it out. And it's the same from a staff perspective as well. I think we've given ourselves a couple of pats on the back, but equally we've given ourselves a few more hammerings in terms of how we maybe haven't helped the team. So just on reflection from the weekend, really, it's a roller coaster of emotions. You have the high of Friday, where again we're incredibly proud of the players to taking the lead against Dorking, in control of the game, to then obviously dropping points and going from first to fourth. So longest answer ever, but it's been incredibly emotional, but very exciting.
As you mentioned earlier, though, it's been such a good season, and a record points total at this level typifies that. From where we were 3-0 down first day of the season at Weston-super-Mare. It's been a hell of a journey, hasn't it? And one that I'm sure, as you say, when the dust settles, it's one that you can be extremely proud of.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're certainly not done yet. That's for sure. We are proud of what we've done. But as I've always maintained, that I've got massive belief in the players. I think they've done an incredible job. I think they deserve massive credit. They are a group of players that are part-time, that are competing with, directly competing with a group of full-time teams. I think that in itself is testament to the players. And as I've said from day one, I genuinely believe that this group is good enough to win the league and get promoted out of the division. And as I've always said, I can remember, funnily enough, having a conversation with Peter Vale in our Get to Know You interview. And one of the things that we said was if we don't get promoted with this group of players, that would be on myself as manager, and I still believe that. So, I'm incredibly proud of the players and of what they've done. And as I said, we're not done yet. And if we do fall short, it's certainly not a reflection of how the players have performed for us. So we talk about individual mistakes. I'm 100% sure that I would have made more individual mistakes than anyone this year. So, as I said, I've got nothing but praise for the players in the main, and they've done an incredible job, and we just need to finish it off.
And I didn't want to sound as if I was sort of playing it down the last game of the season. It just does feel unlikely that obviously we end the season champions, but it is still a possibility, and that's still all to play for on Saturday. We've seen how crazy this league can be at times. It's just a case of being at it from your perspective, I suppose. Yeah,
I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Because obviously there's incredible feeling of disappointment around the group. Again, I'm not going to fluff it up. That's the reality. After Monday, we were on the floor. We were incredibly disappointed. And I think the fact that we are feeling that way after taking points off two direct rivals, one of those games down to 10 men for 70 minutes, we're again on a mini unbeaten run, and we're going into the final game of the season, we're 1 point off top. So I think that that reflects just how well the group's done, and the feeling around it at the minute where we are so disappointed again is further sort of evidence of what a good job the players have done. I think the disappointment comes from the feeling of a missed opportunity or two. So a few weeks back when we were 4 points ahead with 2 games in hand, I think that was a real opportunity to go and potentially open a gap, but no one's done it all season, and there's a reason for that, because it's incredibly competitive. So we just need to go into the last game learning from previous. So Welling and Hornchurch, in terms of playing conditions, will offer similar challenges to what Enfield will. So we'll learn from that, and we'll give ourselves the best chance possible to try and put 3 points on the board. And if we do that, then, as we said, if ever there's going to be a season where there's a load of mental results, it'll be this one. And one thing I would say as well is, having been at the top of the table, having had that feeling of being chased, there can often be a feeling of don't lose it rather than go and win it. And I can just imagine the pressure that Truro, Torquay in particular will be feeling on that final day, because as I said, they're 1 point ahead. That's the reality of it. And pressure's a funny thing, and on paper they may look like straightforward games of football, but as I said, this league is anything but straightforward. So we just need to make sure we beat Enfield, knowing it will be incredibly difficult. We look to maintain our unbeaten run, continue to build momentum, and if it doesn't see us win the league, then we'll go into the playoffs incredibly confident, knowing in all likelihood we're going to be playing against teams that we've beaten at some point this year. And again, like the playoffs is a well-trodden path for a huge number of the group. And again, we go into it really confident. And as I said, the players are, we've got complete belief in them. And if they do fall short, if we do fall short, it certainly won't be a reflection of how good the players are. That'll be on myself. So we just look forward to them. Hopefully, one more game, and if not, a couple more games after that, and we'll continue to enjoy the ride.
Looking at Enfield a little bit more in depth ahead of this Saturday, how do you assess them as opponents?
I think Gav has done an incredible job. I think he's probably manager of the year. That's what I'd say, based on the situation he's faced at Enfield. I don't think anyone expected them to stay up. I think at times they probably felt they were dead and buried, but he's done an incredible job in terms of recruitment, in terms of improving the existing players, and putting the points on the board they have. So we know that's going to be very difficult. They need to get something out of us to guarantee that they stay in the division. And we really respect Gav. We really respect all the guys down at Enfield, and I think he's done an incredible job. And I know he'll have a group of players out there that will give absolutely everything to try and stay in the division. And again, there's that added situation where the pitch there is Welling, Hornchurch-esque, which doesn't suit us. That's the reality of it. It doesn't suit us. I'm not going to dress it up. Like I said, after we lost to Hornchurch and Welling, we train to play a certain way. That way has served us incredibly well because, as I said, we're 1 point off top with a game to go, and because we're part-time, we don't have the contact time to completely shift the way that we play. So we'll go down there, we'll do what we do, we'll try and affect what we can in terms of make slight changes, but we know it's going to be really tough. But in typical Worthing fashion, it's never going to be straightforward. So we'll go down there, we'll give our best, and put ourselves in the best position possible to try and be league champions come 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Finally, looking at the squad that you have available on the final day, how is the squad as a whole, and in particular, is there an update on Danny Cashman?
Yes, Aaron Racine is banned for 3 games, so we appealed that. With the advice of actually a Premier League referee to appeal it, but that got thrown out, so we won't be asking him for advice again, which is a loss. It's a big loss because I thought Azza done a great job in terms of keeping, for me, the best centre forward in the league quiet in Jason Pryor. I thought Azza affected him incredibly well, so to potentially not have Azza for the extended season, if it gets down to that, is a big loss, but we'll deal with that. Parts has had a bit of a rest, which is great. The old boy needs looking after physically, so he's rested and ready to go. And other than that, we're all good. We've obviously recalled Ollie Black because Sam Beard's also got a 3-game ban. Jack Bates will come back as well for the potential playoff run as well, assuming the worst in terms of us going into the playoffs. And Danny Cashman, I will be shocked if he kicks another football for Worthing this season, unfortunately. But it's a hell of a loss. I'm not going to again try and dress it up. He's been incredibly good for us all season, in particular in the last 6 weeks. He's been involved in more goals scored, assisted than anyone. So it's a big loss, but I'm also a big believer in everything happening for a reason. And I know we've got Tommy Willard sitting there chomping at the bit now that he's back fit and available. And football has a funny way of throwing certain stories up and narratives, and potentially this is now Tommy Willard's time to go and continue and build on some of the great work that he done early on in the season. And again, as we saw on Monday, I thought O'Day was outstanding when he come on. So we've got an incredibly strong squad, and we, as I said, we go into the final game or games very confident in the players, believing that, as I've said, they are more than capable of getting this job done.
Thanks, Andy.
Cheers, Jack.